Hello, hello, it's Geraldine again with another travel story. If you've been following my Instagram feed, I'm sharing little vignettes, little stories from places in the world that I've had the opportunity to travel. And so far, I've shared with you stories from Haiti, Israel, and Kenya. Today, I'm going to share a story from Iraq. Two little vignettes during a 10-day trip I took there many years ago. And the first story is about this photo here. This is a small village in Iraq, a Christian village. It's also the site of Nahum the prophet's tomb. Nahum the prophet out of the Old Testament. His tomb is located in a synagogue, a 1500-year-old synagogue in this Christian village. This village used to be a Jewish village, but now it's a Christian village. And it has a caretaker that looks after Nahum's tomb. It's a historical site that a few years ago, some organizations and countries wanted to get involved in preserving this site. The photo you see now is the caretaker opening up doors for us to go see Nahum's tomb. Once you get past the doors, you go down some steps and it's a big open area and you see a series of arches. Under one of those arches is Nahum's tomb. It's surrounded by a metal fence, a decorative metal fence that you can see through. And then just to the right of the tomb, you see a plaque, and it's in Hebrew. Very interesting. The time when we went, the synagogue was in somewhat of disrepair. One of the stone walls had collapsed, but now that there's been interest to preserve it, I assume that that has all been repaired. I hope that's the case. And so I got a chance to go and visit. Here's what it looks like on the inside. This is inside the synagogue, and that is Nahum's tomb, covered in that green fabric and surrounded by that metal fence. Amazing opportunity to go and see this historical site, Nahum the prophet out of the Old Testament. Okay, the second story. The second story has to do with the people I met. I had a chance to spend 10 days with some beautiful, loving people, and we just had a wonderful time together. I got to know them as much as you can in 10 days, but we spent 10 hours a day together for almost 10 days, eating meals, talking, and just amazing time. We went during my birthday month, and the group that I went with had my information in case of emergency, and they knew it was my birthday, and they shared it with the people in Iraq, and they decided to celebrate my birthday. They brought a cake out and had me up front and sang happy birthday, and then all of a sudden, about 25 of the 50 people came toward me and they picked me up and they body surfed me through the crowd, singing and moving me through the room. Happy birthday. That's the first time in my life I've ever been body surfed in a crowd. That was the best birthday ever. Just an amazing experience. Just lovely people, such warm people. And it wasn't until after that that I realized that I was going to miss the call from my mother. I only told one person, my brother, that I was going to Iraq. Whenever I traveled, my mom worried, and I didn't want her to worry about me being in Iraq. So I didn't tell her I was going. I only told my brother. But then I remembered, oh no. My mom calls me. This was her tradition. She passed away a couple of years ago. To call me on the very hour and minute I was born. on my birthday every year. So that year, she wasn't going to get me on the phone. And she would probably call my brother and say, "Where's your sister?" She knows I call her on her birthday on the hour and minute that she was born. So I hope my brother was able to handle that without telling her where I was because I didn't want her to worry. So those are my two stories out of Iraq. Thank you for listening. It was an amazing experience. And if I meet you one day and you have more interest, I'd love to share some of the other things that happened during that trip. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at another travel story. Every Saturday, I share a new one from one of my adventures of traveling around the world when I was a photographer, working for a newspaper and working for a magazine. See you next time.